High performance habits. Are you wondering why is it certain achievers or professionals or athletes or someone you admire are doing so well? Well, today I want to talk about Brendon Burchard's book, High Performance Habits, and how I've been able to implement some of this into my life with you. So welcome back to the Men's Mental Health Podcast. I want to talk on high performance habits because it's a book that I read a long time ago and realized there's parts of it I've been implementing without even realizing. And actually, I have a great friend. She actually came on my other podcast who's a trained coach with Brendon Burchard. And I thought it's really important because there are some very high performers in the world who do really, really well. And I feel like we can always learn from each other. So I wanted to talk about this and how I've used it in my life. And again, I'm not perfect. I have bad habits as much as anyone else. But I really want to talk about how this has worked for me and some of the rules. And I'd recommend getting the book High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Even recently, I noticed, like in the last week, for example, that I had been eating really cleanly through the week. And I was like, okay, I'm going to treat myself to a snack or two. And yeah, that's cool. Like some sugar. And then I noticed when I had the sugar, how different my thinking was, how foggy it got. And I was like, wow, I really need to reduce this even when it's a treat. So yeah, I want to talk about high performance habits with you today on that respect. I've been in places as well where I've been drained to get out of bed, so exhausted with energy, and it just wasn't good. But I've been in places where it's like flow, and I've got idea after idea. Like I'm meeting people, I'm getting all this inspiration, and everything's to me working. Business is coming to me. So let's talk about these high performance habits. Number one, seek clarity. This is a really strong habit that I've noticed in high performance and when I've been in my best. I'm very, very clear on what I want and what I'm doing for the day. When you're a bit like, okay, I'll do a bit of this, I'll do a bit of that, but I'm not really sure where I'm going in life, it drains you. It's exhausting. Your energy goes at all sorts of places. So every night, this is what I do. I write down what my next day is going to look like, map it out in terms of times, not a to-do list because to-do lists are ongoing, but I map out in terms of times and I write down my commitments. What are my commitments for the day? And my commitments are based on what are my goals? What am I moving towards? Now I divide my goals into three areas. I have a vision, an overall vision, what would be my dream day. But then I've got three areas that I look at, what is the next thing? Number one is my finances, which is linked to business, career. So what is the next income I want to make? Number two, my emotions and relationships. I find I like grouping them together, but it's because I find both impact each other. How do I want to feel in life? What kind of relationships do I want to have? And what is that for me? And then number three, mission. What is the thing that I'm really feeling like I'm on the planet for delivering my gift? It's for me, it's talking about, it's podcasting, it's men's mental health, it's all these different things, right? But mainly in the men's mental health, but it's what is my next focus? And for me at the moment, it's finishing my next book, which is coming out very, very soon on my men's mental health story. So then I base my commitments each day, each week based on that. I pick 3 habits I'm going to do each day and then 3 habits I'm not going to do each day. So having clarity is key. Number 2, generate energy. Now, generating energy for me, drinking water, and not chemical filled drinks like the Cokes and all the things you get in the supermarket is great, and fresh fruit, vegetables, natural foods, as opposed to processed. And I'm not saying I don't have zero processed foods. I do. I treat myself. And I'm not saying being perfect to anyone, but that's going to help with energy. But also with energy, your thoughts, so the way you think about life is really, really going to be key. So for example, I meditate to make sure I'm observing my thoughts. I do things like breath work to really clear my emotions as well. That's a really, really big one. So generate your energy, find ways, and make it very, very simple. What I do is I write down things that give me energy, and I consciously log that right in my journal, have a list. And then I have things that drain my energy. So things like sugar that I talked about in energy is one. Things like too much social media can drain my energy, and unfortunately it drains a lot of us. Things like the news are going to drain your energy because it makes you into like a fight or flight, fear-based world. But then things that are going to increase your energy, people who inspirational, make you feel good, who've overcome some kind of like adversity, or they got some really good knowledge, or you feel really good about yourself. People as well. People can really help your energy. So making sure you're around the right people and you're not around the wrong people. Number 3, raise your necessity. That's a really, really key one. I found with high performers, or the ones I know do really well. It's like they don't think about things. It's like, right, I want this and I'm going for it, right? And this is where I'm going to do it by. So being very, very clear on when you want, like, and I've seen this in like sales, and people who do really well and like sign up to things. And when I've signed up to things very quickly and made quick action, that's when I've been successful. People who are like, yeah, it's nice to have, I might do it down the line, and not successful at things. People are like, right, I want to do it, I'm going to join this, I'm going to go for it, are very successful. I've had in my experience, and when I've done it, because I've been on both ends as well. I've been on the, I'm thinking about it and it never changes. And then I'm like, right, I'm doing it now. For my podcast is a necessity. I do it every single week. I do not work with anyone who does not see podcasting as really important to them. Like the clients I've worked with, it's got to be important to them. Anyone else is like, oh yeah, I want to get some guidance, I'm thinking about it. I'm not going to work with them because they don't see it as a necessity, right? And you can't have necessity in every area of your life, right? But things that matter to you, you're going to have a necessity, like parents looking after their children, picking up their children, caring for their children. Generally, any healthy parent, it's going to be like a necessity, right? You know, people go to their work and go to their jobs because it's a necessity, right? But you've got to make what you want a necessity, right? If you've got a side gig and you want to make it in a full-time business, you've got to make it a necessity. So that's the next one. Number 4, increase productivity. I always look at ways of how to be productive. For me, it's systems, right? So what are the things that make you the most productive? What are the times a day? What kind of environment makes you more productive? Like maybe it's in your own home, maybe it's in a cafe, maybe it's in an office. What are the things that make you less productive? Is it certain people around you, or and some people are more productive with other people, some people are less productive with other people. So understand what it is for you. Like there's times in the day people work better. So there's no one size fits all. I've learned for me personally. Like some people are like, well, you got to get up early and work. Well, not everyone's like an early bird, and it's not an excuse to like lie in and just sleep all your life away. No, that's not what I'm saying. But some people work really well as night owls, right? So for you, like, what is it? What makes you more productive, right? I remember once saying, oh yeah, I work better sort of like not getting up too early, like 7 or 8 a.m. and, you know, doing a bit of work then for me, it's like between 7 and 11 a.m. usually. And I actually work quite well late as well sometimes. Conversations, I can have them all day because I just love talking to people. But in the afternoon, never, ever do I schedule a really essential task. I'm making this right now in the afternoon because I can always talk and I can always share. But I would not right now, as I'm making this, do like a real mentally consuming task. That would have to be between 7 and 8 a.m., 7 and 11 a.m. for me. I remember, saying it, and someone's like, I thought that was bullshit that everyone is capable of being an early riser. Now there's like, again, this is just my perspective, but like I don't think there's a one size fits all. There's the 5 a.m. club, which is great. Some people thrive from 5 a.m. Other people are better in the evening. Some people are better in the afternoon. Like, we all depend, right? We all vary even. The next one, develop influence. This means like just being you and not demanding, not telling people things, but questioning them, being an example. and being in integrity of yourself, because when you can do that, people are more likely to follow on. Like, people have like signed up with my coaching. People have like asked me what I'm doing. People, buy my services. People follow me just because I'm me. Like, I do not demand someone does something. Sometimes I like challenge people appropriately, but you can develop influence by being the best you and not hiding that away from everyone. So that's a really, really key habit I've learned from a high performer as well. And then the final point, number 6, is demonstrate courage, right? Like, I remember a key phrase I learned in the book, which was like in The Confidence Gap, great book by Dr. Russ Harris. It said, confident action first, confident feeling second. People are like, well, I'll get confidence and I'll be courageous. No, it's the other way around. You do courageous acts, then you become confident. You will never get the confidence until you do the thing. And I've seen this posted on social media recently. I'm getting more and more into Alex Hormozy's stuff. He says some great stuff, to be fair to him, one of the best marketers on the planet, right? But he says true confidence is like showing up for yourself consistently. And that is especially when you're scared or you're uncomfortable. It is not this idea of shouting affirmations at yourself in the mirror is eventually going to get you to do some work. No, right? Do that alongside taking the action. So say the empowering things, make sure you back out with actions. And if you're going to do one of the two, make sure you do your actions before you start saying stuff for yourself, right? So the two work really well together. So demonstrating courage is really, really key. So those are the high performance habits I wanted to run through with you today. So thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you for being here. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.